Hey, what's up guys, it's Liam or Weagle on your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today I'm going to be going through some healing guide / tips with some absolutely crazy gameplay in the background to use as examples. I was fortunate enough to get into a game with Shadowburn and some incredible top 500 or top 200 even players. There's plenty of them in this game and it's an absolutely nutty game. There's so much going on all the time, and some of it I want to break down for you guys because I think it could really help out. I'm playing Ana throughout this gameplay and I'm not really a healer player. I'm not that great at Ana. However, just some basic fundamentals really helped me here in order to stay alive, to keep my team alive, and have overall great impact, or at least as much as I could on a hero I don't play at such a high rank. The first thing I want to go through is right at the start of the game. I'm going to show a few examples of this, and it's positioning as a healer. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see all the time by healers is them being in the back line too much and getting wrecked by either a dive tank or some flankers in the back line. Quite often, a healer will be very mad at their team for not protecting them, but a lot of the blame can also be placed on the healer. Your positioning is super important, and if your team aren't protecting you, then doing what you can to stay alive is the most important thing. Think about it this way: if you're not alive, you can't heal your team. Your team can't do what they need to do. They can't initiate, and they can't stay alive for a long period of time in an extended team fight if your healer dies. It's notoriously known, Ana dies at the start of a fight, it's going to be lost from there. So you need to try and stay alive as long as possible. So in this first fight, and a lot of the fights in this game, in order to stay alive against amazing tracers, some of the best in the world in a Genji, is I have to commit to staying with my team. We're playing a little bit more of a death ball than the enemy team are, so I decide, and so does my Lucio, to stay with our tank. This means that when a tracer has to dive in all the way to the back line, well, there isn't one. We're with the tanks, so Reinhardt can swing his hammer and do a massive chunk of her health, forcing out blinks and rewinds, and once they're gone, she has very limited applicability. So your positioning as a healer is so important, and knowing when you should be at the back and when you should be in the fight. Because yes, I was in the fight here because we had to stay alive, so we balled right up and we didn't give them that opening. But I can also show you other examples of when the flankers are dead, or we kill the Winston. There's a clip in here where I sleep the Winston and we anti-nade him. Once he's gone, it gives me the opportunity to stay back a little bit more and stay even safer, and then heal from the back line. Healing from the back is of course always going to be the optimal thing to do, but it's not necessarily always possible. One step further than balling up with your team is really dedicating to the fight, and the best example in this gameplay is right at the end, where we lose someone in the last fight of a round and we really want to win it out. So what I decided to do is to put all of my resources into the Genji on my team. I managed to sleep the soldier, which of course is a great play because he's on the high ground, he probably has his ultimate, and then I managed to hit a nade on my Genji and keep him alive to carry out the fight. This is another really important part of being a healer, because sometimes as a healer you can die quite a lot. I also did another video where I played Ana and people were saying I was dying too much, and it may have been true, but actually in that specific gameplay I did enough to win the fight, and then I was back for the next one, and that's really important. Sometimes you really have to dedicate to a fight, and it might not necessarily keep you alive. You may lose it out, but getting that value as early as possible to give your team the best chance of winning. Now, we're not going to just talk about Ana, we'll talk about other healers in a second too, but one more thing about Ana as well is one mistake I see people using Biotic Nade for a lot is actually healing themselves or healing like one guy. You want to be trying to not do this as much as possible. Keeping it to actually anti-nade the enemy team is where you want to be seeing most of its value. The burst potential isn't anywhere near as good as it used to be with the nade. Now again, everything is subject to change. It depends on the situations, and identifying this is really important. Sometimes you are going to want to nade your Genji to keep him alive, like I did when I wanted to dedicate to the fight. There's also another clip on the second map where I managed to throw an anti-nade down to heal 2 flankers. But apart from these situations, actually, what you want to do is use it to anti-nade the other team so they can't heal, because one well-placed anti-nade on 3 or 4 of the enemy team will win you the fight 9 out of 10 times. It's one of the best abilities in the game, and still to this date feels massively underrated for its capability to stop healing on the enemy team. So this video is titled How to Heal a Pro Genji, and the way I managed to do it was the positioning and the decisions on how I can keep myself alive in any given situation. And the other thing is, of course, hitting shots. We've done lots of accuracy and aim guides, and you guys can check them out. Search them up on our channel. I think you'll find them really helpful. But the other thing to note is if you're not mechanically able to do this, it's actually not a problem. You don't have to be an Ana player. Lucio's good at being with the team and keeping people alive, and there are other picks out there too. Zenyatta is fantastic for healing flankers because he can leave an orb on them and then just dish out damage himself, and of course Discord Orb is one of the most powerful abilities in the game, and also his ultimate is strong. Zenyatta is really good right now, and if you do struggle a little bit trying to get them tricky shots off on a flanker, then Zenyatta is going to be a much better option for you. Now another option available to you is also Mercy, but you do have to be careful. I'll give you two different examples of how she can be good and how she can be really bad. If you're playing on defense and your team are all split up around the map, if you imagine Numbani on defense, you've got all the high ground, maybe all your team are around and the enemy team are really struggling to come and take the point. Your Mercy can fly from map to map. She has some of the best movement in the game when that is a possibility that is open to her. She's really hard to kill, she can fly over, she gets all the healing in the world, and of course she has res, and she gets the nice damage boost whenever she wants it. That's really good. But when you're playing on King of the Hill like this map here, this is where you want the Zenyatta more than the Mercy a lot of the time, unless you have a Pharah, because when you're always in these big fights as a ball, as a team, fighting everything on the point, your team are rarely going to be far apart enough from each other in order for the Mercy to fly away, to fly back, to keep herself alive. Now this of course changes depending on the level of play too, because Mercy at high levels of play is played nowhere near as much as low levels of play, because in a game like this, as I say, really hard for her to stay alive, but at lower ranks, a Lucio Mercy combo I'm sure would be really great, and Pharah Mercy, as we all know right now, is super strong, so if you have a Pharah, Mercy is nearly always okay on King of the Hill. You just need that Lucio to make sure you can keep speeding the rest of your team around. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. Positioning as a healer is so important. Stay alive in order to keep your team alive. It's not always up to them to keep yourself alive. There's other picks available to you if you can't play Ana, or if you're just having a bad game and you're not managed to land the sleep darts and you can't stay alive. That's absolutely fine. Zen can be a good pick, and also Mercy too. Lucio should always be on your team, especially on King of the Hill, because speed boost is simply the best ability in the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out our Twitter and our Discord, where you guys can find the Shadowburn mate in your dreams. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you guys get notified when our videos go live, and be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.